Oh boy, Venom. Avi Arad's passion project has finally been made. Was it worth ruining Sam Raimi's vision for Spider-Man 3 to get to this point, Mr. Arad? Looks like your wish has come true.
Eddie? What was that?
Oh, I have a parasite.
So I just saw Venom, and it was alright. Not as bad as I was expecting it to be. Not a masterpiece, mind you, but I didn't want to hurl myself off a bridge after seeing it like I did when I finished watching Amazing Spider-Man 2. My history with the Venom character is short and sweet. Just like Ride's screen time. My first introduction to the character was from the 1990s Spider-Man cartoon. I had the Venom Saga DVD, so I used to repeatedly watch that over and over again, because that show was rad as shit. Then jump a couple of years to the release of Sam Raimi's Black Sheep of the Spider-Man trilogy. Spider-Man, the third one. This movie has received a lot of flack for its portrayal of the big black goo man. Not many people liked Topher Grace and felt that Venom didn't get enough screen time. Well, what do you expect when the director of the film showed zero interest in having the character in his movie? You just had to shove your Venom boner in places it didn't belong. As a kid, I thought the Sam Raimi Venom was alright. I felt Eddie's motivation for hating Peter was justified, and hey, when Venom did put a symbiote face on, he did look pretty cool. But yeah, that's my short little history with Venom. I'm not too attached to him, so making a film about him seemed alright. Until you remember, this is Sony we're talking about, and they don't know how to make smart decisions. I mean, remember that Sinister Six movie they kept setting up that never got made because of their incompetence? How about that proposed Aunt May solo film where she was a spy in the 70s or something? The fuck was that shit all about? Amy, did somebody spike your coffee or something? You're not making any sense! I thought the idea of making a Venom movie that didn't feature Spider-Man seemed kind of retarded, but I was willing to give Venom a shot. I've always had this view on bad superhero movies. Even if the movie sucks, you know the action will be good. Maybe that'll be the redeeming quality of Venom. Then I saw the teaser and there was no special effects, a motorcycle stunt show, a Mad Max having a seizure. After that, I didn't really have much faith in this movie or God. So I know why you're all here, to hear my thoughts about Venom. But before I start this review, I gotta do something that's just as important. I gotta review my shopping mall. The mall I saw the movie in is currently experiencing a mice epidemic, which people are shocked by for some reason. Even though there's literally a big gaping hole in the side because they're tearing down a fucking Sears. Being shocked that there's mice in the food court of a shopping mall is the dumbest thing ever. You realize that it's a food court in a shopping mall, right? They're not exactly the cleanest of working environments, are they? That's like going to Africa and expecting to find well-fed children. It's just not going to happen. Okay, enough sidetracking. Let's get on with this thing. First things first. The ideal movie-going experience includes 5 important components. Number 1, a seat. Number 2, you in the seat. Number 3, the 3D glasses. The things my friend and I forgot to get and only realized just as the movie was about to start because we're fucking morons. Number 4, a refreshing soda pop. And number 5, a good meal. I bought 2 burgers and fries from the food court's A&W, and I will say that it enhanced my... Fuck. I bought 2 burgers and fries from the food court at A&W, and I will say that it enhanced my Venom viewing experience. As we all know, Venom is a hungry little bastard.
Hungry.
And eating that tasty food while watching a Sony motion picture is the one thing I'd recommend to you when going to see any movie ever. It makes the entire trip worth it. Now that we have all the non-important shit out of the way, let's finally dive into what I liked and didn't like about Venom. So the movie starts, which is a good sign. So the movie starts and we get to see the life of Edward Broccoli, a reporter who has his own news show and likes to trade newspapers with homeless people. He's a real stand-up guy. He's got a good job, hot girlfriend and fiance. He's living this sweet life until he gets an interview with Drake. No, not that Drake. This Drake. Once Brock starts to investigate more into Drake's personal life, he gets cocky and begins outing him in their interviews. That makes Eddie's boss really angry. Wait a second. Bobby Fish? What the fuck are you doing here? Is this where you went after leaving Harlem in season 2? So yeah, Eddie gets fired, loses his reputation, his girlfriend, home, and kitten. We've already reached the low point of every romantic comedy and we're only 12 minutes in. Yeah, this movie for the first maybe 40 minutes or so really dragged. I'm all for taking things slow for good character development. And not all of what they do here is bad. They flesh out Jenny Slate's character a lot during this portion of the movie. But I'd rather a lot more character development instead of Eddie Brock doing yoga in his living room. If I wanted to watch yoga, I'd just play Wii Fitness. You know, for a movie called Venom, there's very little venom in your motion picture that's called Venom. No, shh. We'll get to you later. Once Venom bonds with Eddie and the two start to interact, that's when the movie starts getting good. Somewhat. The interactions between Vetti and Brock, wow, sounds like a sitcom. The interactions between Eddie Brock and Venom were easily the highlights of the movie. I really enjoyed their banter and the duality of their whole relationship.
Mask! Copy!
Alright, have it your own way.
Mask!
Copy.
That might actually be my favorite line from the movie.
Mask! Copy!
Alright, have it your own way.
Mask!
Copy that.
The way they utilized the symbiote during action scenes was pretty cool, and for a PG-13 movie, Venom did get to bite off some heads. I was surprised. Venom picked up that riot guard and cracked his head off like he was Sid playing with a Barbie doll. Venom was actually pretty funny at times, too. Not all of his jokes landed, but most of the mean-spirited jokes he made towards Eddie were some of my favorites.
Jump. Pussy.
The CGI for Venom wasn't half bad. By the time of the final fight, it can become a bit of an eyesore, but that's to be expected now with all these big-budget action movies. I mean, I've seen 5 Transformers movies at this point, so I'm used to the clutter. One issue with Venom's character is that he kind of just becomes a good guy out of nowhere near the end of the movie. Even though earlier he was a huge dick and basically planned to use Eddie just to ensue that the whole bring the symbiotes to Earth plan could be completed. What changed your mind, Mr. Venom?
You did Eddie.
Yeah, right, okay. It's a little strange when the marketing for the movie went on about how the world has enough superheroes or whatever, and Venom just turns full-on hero in the last 20 minutes when he gets kinky and kisses Eddie. Again, this is a Sony movie. I should be used to the false advertising by now. The supporting characters range from being pretty decent to being utterly forgotten, like Eddie's homeless person friend who smuggles newspapers. He finds her and she goes full on exorcist and just, I guess, dies, but Eddie barely even makes a mention of her later. Well, I guess it makes sense. She is homeless. Homeless people are mostly forgotten about. But the other characters are decent, I guess. Anne, played by Michelle Williams, was alright considering what she had to work with.
Oh, that's bullshit!
I was slightly bummed to see Jenny Slate's character killed off. She was pretty cool for the most part. Too bad her story doesn't get resolved and the mentioning of her kids never comes back or impacts the plot in any way. She's also never brought up again, and I don't think Eddie ever learns that she was killed by Drake. Speaking of Drake, Carlton Drake was one of the weirdest villains ever. On one hand, I didn't mind him. He's played by I'm the Pilot.
Put the message, I'm the pilot.
Shit, I mean, Riz Ahmed. He's the guy with the god complex and sees himself as the savior of mankind, and all of his space travel to Mars using the symbiotes as a way to breathe in space was interesting. But literally, at the last minute, Riot just takes full control over him, and then Riot becomes the main villain for the last 10 minutes of the movie. So all the investment in Drake's character kind of gets thrown out the window at the last minute.
The flight team aren't prepped yet. I'll be piloting the spacecraft.
Oh, you've got to be fucking joking. Apparently this guy knows how to pilot everything! It's funny for a guy boasting about being the pilot, you managed to blow yourself up twice while being the pilot. You're pretty shit at your occupation as a pilot, sir! Riot was a neat addition, though, for like the 4 seconds he was in the movie. Although I have a lot of questions about his travels. So at the start of the movie, the ship crashes and Riot takes over the body of the paramedic lady. Okay. Then he massacres some Chinese folk and possesses this old lady. Then he walks to an airport and starts following little girls into the bathroom. Okay, so now Riot's possessed the little girl. Where were the little girl's parents? Did she go to this airport alone? Is the movie implying that this little girl got on a plane and traveled all the way to San Francisco without anybody questioning her, being unsupervised by an adult? What is this, Home Alone 2? Also, what happened to her body? How did Carlton explain to his crew that there's just some random corpse of a 7-year-old girl in his creepy symbiote basement? Oh well, I guess I'm not supposed to think about it, right? This is a Sony movie after all. Their films fall under the turn your brain off movie category. The final fight scene with Riot was very hit or miss. I like some of the symbiote stuff, like when Riot shoots spikes out of his body and knocks Venom into the railing, and when Anne used the to prevent Riot from killing Venom. That was pretty cool. It gave Michelle Williams something to do rather than just cry and mope a little bit and eat fancy restaurant food. The part where Riot ate Venom and Eddie was kind of fucking weird, but not as weird as Tom Hardy bathing with lobsters, so it's fine, I guess. I liked it when Venom said "have a nice life" to Riot before blowing his ass up.
Have a nice life.
That was some good payoff from earlier.
Have a nice life.
Cheap, maybe, but, you know, still pretty good.
Traitor. Have a nice life.
Oh no! Venom is sacrificing himself to save Eddie. I'm so worried for Venom, you guys. Oh gee, I hope Venom is alright. I'm so worried they're going to kill off title character Venom. The protagonist's fake-out death has never been done before in any movie ever, and I applaud the writers for including this when the sole purpose for it happening is for the other characters to make the funny faces when Eddie starts talking to himself again near the end of the movie. Wow, I do love this film. So the story concludes the same way the trailer does, pretty much. Nice to know we still haven't learned from the last time. Venom is alive, they kiss again, and Eddie saves Mrs. Chen by letting Venom consume the Mexican robber from earlier in the movie. Oh, but wait! There's more.
But I'm not done yet.
Eddie drives to Oswald State Penitentiary to get that juicy interview he teased earlier at the end of the movie. Oh boy! I wonder what it could be.
Who's that? It's
Ronald McDonald? Oh. Oh, that's supposed to... Oh. Oh. You couldn't get a more convincing wig than that? What's your budget again? Holy fuck. I thought the Kate Mara wig days were behind us.
When I get out of here, and I will, there's gonna be carnage.
Wow. Subtle, guys. He should have just said, "Hey, Eddie, did you know I'm gonna be Carnage?" Or have him look at the audience, pull a Carnage comic book out of his wig and say, "Oh, what's this thing doing in there? Oh, Carnage? Hey! Did you know that in the next movie I'm gonna be Carnage? Because I'm gonna be Carnage." Brilliant setup from the Sony. Well, that was Venom! 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 He's a Venom! I'd give this movie a 6 out of 10 turds in the wind. For what it wasn't entirely disappointing. It had some decent action scenes, some well-timed jokes, the interactions between Venom and Eddie, and of course...
What the hell are you?
I wouldn't mind seeing Venom again, whether it was in the theater or on DVD. I didn't regret seeing it, mostly because my burgers were so damn delicious. It was definitely worth the ticket, and I recommend you at least check it out for yourself. Even if you hate it, you're bound to find something to make fun of in it. Venom was a decent surprise. I expected it to be a... but it ended up being something entirely different. A slightly above average watchable superhero flick. I think that says something. Maybe Sony's finally learned from their mistake.